Peach leaves are used for urinary tract infections, also used for diabetes. Sage is the one that's popularly used, the ones that have underlines. Sage and catnip is used, along with cayenne, the popular ones to use for chills. Cholera, of course, these are some of the older names for diseases. We don't use those names too much today. That's basically indigestion. We have cholera, and we have more mucus cholera. This is indigestion with diarrhea, and when you get into cholera, more bust, that's when you have griping, a kind of pulling sensation in your stomach. But basically, cholera is indigestion. So we use the Bistort. Some people just drink ginger for indigestion, and diarrhea, and vomiting. We can use the wild yam. Now, wild alum is a very it's astringent. It will stop the diarrhea. That's why that's here, to stop the diarrhea altogether. Now, sometimes when you don't have those herbs together, you can use water peppermint, or some people sprinkle a little black pepper into some tea and drink it for the cholera. Red clover is very good for that. Fleabane is good for, of course, parasites as well. But most of the time for this indigestion, people use, understand that you're having the diarrhea because the body's trying to throw out the waste. So it's trying to throw out the waste because you're constipated. So cholera and dysentery, those are forms of constipation. And the body's trying to cleanse itself because it can't take in any more food. Now this is the indigestion of diarrhea with griping. So then we go to the peach leaves, which I mentioned before, sometimes used for diabetes and used for urinary tract infection, along with the Bistort, queen of the meadow, raspberry leaves. That's red raspberry leaves, good for cholera. Now we're into a calmative such as peppermint, good for the nervous system, good for digestion. It's a useful herb for cholera. Rhubarb is a laxative, so we're trying to cleanse the system out again. And some people use the charcoal because it absorbs the toxins that are causing the diarrhea and the cholera. So we use the pulverized charcoal, which you buy in the store. You don't really make that yourself. Now we get into childbirth to make it easy. We have these female herbs, the black cohosh and the blue cohosh. Brings on labor pains when time. It helps bring on the labor pains and bring on the labor. Shepherd's purse, which is a good astringent, by the way, is used for childbirth. And spikenard is taken sometime before to shorten the ordeal of the birthing process. Spikenard is used for cancer too. Squavine has hormones in it the ladies need, estrogen. It's taken before childbirth to ease the ordeal of it all. Red raspberry is the most popular herb used for childbirth, and I would just recommend it. You just take the raspberry throughout the pregnancy. Constipation, we're back to those laxatives now. We have the Cascara sagrada, remember I mentioned that before, which helps in the rhubarb, which is also a laxative. Constipation is just you're not drinking enough water or eating enough bulk, so we go back to the buckthorn bark, the chickweed, which is good for skin diseases as well, because you're going to have disease of the skin of the digestive tract when you're constipated. And ginger is good for griping and digestion because it stimulates the liver to produce bile, which helps break down the waste. And wild Oregon grape, which is good for the liver as well. And of course the rhubarb and the butternut. Now we're into diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is a disease brought on by the diet. It's primarily caused by white sugar and secondarily caused by bleached white flour, and it can be caused by eating a lot of meat as well. We have the herbs that are popularly used for diabetes is golden seal, which makes a precursor called inulin, which turns into insulin. So we use the golden seal, and the other herb is bilberry, which is sometimes called blueberry leaves. We use the bilberry. Blue raspberry leaves, which is called bilberry. Some people get them confused there, but the herbs used for diabetes is primarily the blue raspberry leaves, or bilberry, or huckleberry sometimes called, and the golden seal. Now the other herbs that you see here, the uverse is a diuretic, and it's astringent here to relieve the pain of digestion and the stress that's put on your digestive system. Yarrow is good for stimulating the liver, which helps break down the food and can relieve the stress of the pancreas, because the pancreas being stressed, it gets weak and gets a disease that we call diabetes. But I wouldn't go into the rest of the herbs. The saw palmetto is good for the